Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So we're going to continue reading from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and he's been speaking on the Vedanta philosophy to Prakāśānanda Saraswati and his followers in Banaras. Can someone please continue to read?
Deepika, you want to read?
Yes, I can read today.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Supreme Brahman cannot be accepted as impersonal, for if it is, then the six opulences belonging to the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be attributed to Brahman. All the Vedas and Puranas affirm that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is full of spiritual energy, but foolish people do not accept this, and therefore they deride his activity. They misinterpret the transcendental body of Krishna to be creation of material nature, and this is considered to be the greatest offense and greatest sin. One should simply accept the words of Lord Chaitanya that he spoke in this assembly.
You know, one of the verses we were reading in the morning, Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, Evam Yoveti Tatpataha, Tyakva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mam Eti. So Arjuna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, that one who can understand that my appearance and my activities are transcendental does not need to come back to this material world again, but goes to the spiritual world. In chapter 4, he says that my form is transcendental. His form is Satchit Ananda. Krishna's body, as we are seeing in the picture that he's speaking to Arjuna. So this form of Krishna, two hands, two lotus eyes, this is not a material body. Many people think that Krishna's body is material, that he's just in the mode of goodness, that he's subject to the laws of karma. But no, Krishna's body is transcendental. Satchid Ananda Vigraha, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchid Ananda Vigraha, Anadi Radir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. Brahmaji says in the Brahma Samhita that Krishna's body is transcendental. All the Vedas are saying Krishna's body is transcendental. Krishna himself is saying Krishna's body is transcendental. And if we don't believe it or we don't accept it, then we are the one who are losers. We are being foolish. It is again the example which La Prabhupada gives, that there is a prison which is full of prisoners, and the king is visiting the prison. The king is not forced by any of the police to enter the prison. It's not that he was forced to come there. No, he came by his own choice. The king is not wearing a prison uniform. The prisoners are wearing prison uniform, but the king is not. But if the prisoner starts saying, oh, the king is also in the prison, so it means the king is also a prisoner, and starts deriding him, then the prisoner is foolish. Instead of deriding, he can try to understand, oh, the king is here. Let me speak to him. Let me try to get out of the prison. That's the reason the king is there, to see who wants to get out. So similarly, Krishna, when he comes in his own original body. He does not take this material body. We are the prisoners of the material world. So we have this material body, not Krishna. Krishna doesn't have this material body. That's something that we have to understand. And Prabhupada is saying, simply accept the words of Lord Chaitanya that is spoken in this assembly. All the scriptures are saying this. Can you all just give me a moment, please? Just one moment. I'm going
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you. So, and just by trying to understand, just by understanding that Krishna's body is transcendental, Krishna is saying you can come back to the spiritual world. You don't need to take birth again in the material world. We just have to accept Krishna's body is transcendental and liberation for us. That's how kind he is. So
Hare Krishna.
continue.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Shilpa,
Yes, yes, yes.
yes, I was wondering, Lord Krishna had that desire, to understand Radharani's love, and he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right?
Yes.
And then because he had this desire, I mean, whenever he has some desire, he comes into this world. And then how does he go back? Okay, his desire is fulfilled, and how does he go back? I mean, how did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pass? I mean, just wanted to understand.
Did he disappear from this world? So
Yeah.
usually what happens is devotees don't speak much about the disappearance of the Lord because they feel separation from the Lord. So it's not much spoken of, but Lord Chaitanya, he entered into the deity of Tota Gopinath. Tota Gopinath deity was worshipped by Gadadhar Pandit, one of the very close associates of Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. And Lord Chaitanya entered into that deity. And that's how he disappeared from this world. We have to understand Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. So Lord Chaitanya's body is also spiritual, transcendental, not material.
Thank you.
Is that
Hare Krishna. Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna?
The individual personality of Supreme Absolute Truth is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:9, 3-4. O Supreme Lord, this transcendental form which I am seeing is the embodiment of transcendental pleasure. It is eternal and devoid of the contamination of the material mold. It is the greatest manifestation of the absolute truth, and it is full of effulgence. O soul of everyone, you are the creator of this cosmic manifestation. With all its material elements, I surrender unto you in your transcendental form. O Krishna, O most auspicious one in the universe, you advent yourself in your original personal form in order to be worshipped by us, and we perceive you either by meditation or by direct worship. Foolish people contaminated by material nature do not give much importance to your transcendental form, and consequently they glide down to hell. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:11.
So your Bhagavatam is also saying that. Bhagavatam is saying Krishna's form is transcendental, embodiment of transcendental pleasure. Krishna's form is eternal. Krishna's form is not controlled by the three modes of nature. You know what happens is we think, yeah, I know Krishna, I know. And we think he's just like our neighbor. He's same like us. Oh, I have a material body, so Krishna also must have a material body. That's what we say. What shall I say? It's like a mental assumption that we have. Thank you. But what we have to understand is we have to accept Krishna as he is, not as we think he should be, or he must be, or we imagine him to be. We simply have to accept Krishna as he is by hearing about him from the scriptures, from the authorities, from him himself. Whereas we keep our assumption, no, Krishna should be like this. Why? Because I think he is like this. I think Krishna's form is material, so his form must be material. What value does our thought have? Our thoughts don't change the truth. That's something we have to understand. We may believe in something, we may not believe in something, but that is never going to change the truth. The truth is the truth, and the truth is Krishna's form is transcendental. The truth is Krishna is not under the control of modes of nature. Rather, he is the master of the modes of nature. Master of the modes. Does anyone know the verse in Bhagavad Gita where he says he's the master of this material energy? Sneha?
Is it Eti Shamsha Kala Pumsha?
No,
Krishna.
Chaitamsha Kalapumsa, that is that Krishna is, there are so many incarnations, so many amsha, so many kala, so many expansions of Krishna. But the original form of God is Krishna himself. That's the original form of God. No, this is Devi hi Esha Gunamai, Mama Maya Duratyaya. Devi hi Esha Gunamai.
Mayam etam tarantite.
Tarantite, yeah. So he says, Devi hi Esha Gunamai. That this Maya, which is consisting of three modes of nature, Gunamai, no? She is mine. Devi Esha Gunamai, Mama Maya, my Maya, it says. So she belongs to him. He is not under her control. She is under his control. Yes. So this is what Bhagavatam is saying. Bhagavatam is telling us the position of Krishna in Tattva, in truth, his position, that he's the greatest, he's the absolute truth, he's full of effulgence. O soul of everyone. Why? Why soul of everyone? He's the one. We exist because Krishna exists. Who is the one who has created this cosmic manifestation? We buy something, anything we buy, we say, oh, well, who's the manufacturer? We buy a mobile, oh, which company manufactured? We buy a laptop, which company manufactured? We are seeing sun, moon, stars, flowers. We don't ask who's creating. We see sky, so many things we see in the nature. Who is the creator? Who is the creator? Do we know anything can exist without being created by someone? In our experience, have we just come across something which has never been created by someone? Painting, we see a painting, oh, who made it? We see a book, oh, who wrote it? These are the questions we ask. Why? Because we know if there is a creation, there has to be a creator. We have a dish party, there is food made. Oh, who made this? Because we know things don't manifest by itself. So Krishna is the supreme creator. He's the one who's created this entire material world. The spiritual world is existing on his spiritual energy. And then Bhagavatam, I surrender unto you in your transcendental form, O Krishna. So Krishna's form is Satchidananda, transcendental. Seeing that, oh yeah, Krishna, I know, he stole some butter. Oh, I know, he was playing with the gopis. I know, Krishna is naughty, he does that, he does this. No, but we have to understand Krishna's position. Only then we will be able to understand Krishna's pastimes. Because we are thinking Krishna is like us. So, oh, I have some activity, so Krishna's activity is also like this. But maybe it's a little bit more funnier, maybe it's a little bit more wondrous than mine, but it's same to same thing. Instead, we need to understand what's Krishna's position in Tattva. That's Bhagavatam is telling us this. Specifically the first few cantos of Bhagavatam. First three cantos of Bhagavatam, repeatedly telling us what is Krishna's position. You advent yourself in your original personal form. Right? So see, what Bhagavatam so clearly is telling us, that Krishna comes in his original form. There is no difference between Krishna's soul or his body. There is no inside of Krishna, like some people think, oh, there's something inside of Krishna. No, this is Krishna's form. This is Krishna. This is God. Krishna is God. So, because we have this material thinking, we are not able to understand. Our mind is so enamored by Maya. We are not able to understand.
But to the gopis and the cowherd boys, Krishna
Yes.
did not. He came as an ordinary, like, for them, for the gopis, it was like he was like an ordinary person. But of course, he was the center of their life. So why? Because the gopis were associates, right? They came
Yeah, see,
together.
but we have to understand. Yeah. So you see that's a loving platform. So we cannot compare ourselves with that. We don't have love for Krishna. So we have to understand his position, you know. But the gopis, and it said that because they have love for Krishna, it means they have studied all the Vedas, they've done all the charity, penances, everything they've done. They have studied the Vedas. Why? Because now they are serving Krishna, they are loving Krishna. But of course, we have to understand that Braj Prem is on the level of Madhurya, where the Aishwarya Bhav is not so much, or that Krishna is God. Aishwarya Bhav is more with Lord Vishnu, with Narayan in the other Vaikuntha planets, where the other inhabitants, they know, oh, this is God and I need to worship him. So, but with Krishna, it's of course Madhurya. The Aishwarya is covered. Krishna is the center of their life, but it's not that they disregard his position. We have to understand that because they're so much in love with him that they don't care that he's God. It's like the president's mother. She loves her son. To her, first, he's my son. Okay, yes, I know he's the president, but he's my son. Like when Sridham and Subal, they are playing with Krishna. Oh, yes, we know you're God, but you are our friend. So that's very secondary for them. So they don't put much importance to that. Is that okay?
Right. Yes, like even how for Mother Yashoda, right? He opened his mouth and she saw the universe, and she was like,
Exactly.
right? And then he
Yes.
covered again this thing, not to,
Yes.
show
That's
his
right.
actual.
Yeah. So their love is so much that they don't care whether he's God or not, because they love him so much. Yeah. Like even Nanda Maharaj, when he's talking to the Brajbasis, and he's saying that when Garga Muni had come to do the name-giving ceremony of Krishna, that time Garga Muni had said that your son, he's come in 3 yugas, he's come all the time before. So, like Nanda Maharaj was, because all the Brajbasi men were telling Nanda Baba that how such wonderful pastimes are happening with your son, what's happening, what's his identity. And then Nanda Maharaj was telling them, yeah, Garga Muni was telling me like this. So, but then again, they are like, oh, our darling Krishna. They forget all these talks of what Krishna's position might be, but because their love is so strong. That is Braj Prem. That is what Golok Vrindavan is about, this Madhurya.
The highest devotion.
The highest devotion. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Ajad avajananti mam mudda manushim tanam ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Foolish persons mock me when I appear in the form of a human being. They do not know the intrinsic value of this transcendental form, that I am the proprietor, the master, and the Lord of all creation. That such foolish and demoniac persons go to the hellish planets is stated later in the Bhagavad Gita 16:19-20. Tan aham dvishata kruran samshareshu naradhaman shipami ajasharam asubhan ashureshva eva yonishu Ashurim yonim apana mudda janmani janmani mam aprapya vekaunteya tato yanti adhamam gatim. I place who are envious of me and my devotees into the most degraded species of life. Thus situated, such demoniac souls have no chance of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The doctrine of bypass.
Sorry, we will just say a little. Krishna is saying, avajananti mam mudha. We are foolish when we think Krishna's form is same like our form. That, Krishna's body is material, or Krishna is subjected to karma, or Krishna is just in the mode of goodness, or, that there is something inside of Krishna, there's something beyond of Krishna. And some people think that there's something higher than Krishna. And then Krishna is saying that we are foolish when we say such things. He's saying because we do not understand that his form is transcendental, that he's the proprietor, the master, and the Lord of all creation. So if we want to really understand Krishna's position, we need to understand this creation. That's the reason Bhagavatam, the first 3 cantos, specify. How many times we read, right? Creation. So many times this creation was repeated to understand Krishna's position as the Supreme Lord. So here, Krishna's form is transcendental. If we can just understand this, we can go back home, back to Godhead, go to Golok Vrindavan. And then Krishna is saying, those who really don't want to understand, those who are envious, then they glide down to most degraded species. Should we stop here for today? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
So, I think let's stop here for today. And thank you so much for listening and joining in. And I just wanted to repeat again that verse of Bhagavatam, where Bhagavatam says, Akama Sarva. What is that? Akama Sarva Kamo Va Moksha Kama Udari De Bhakti Yogena Tivrena. That we may be full of material desires, or we have no material desires, or we desire liberation. Simply worship Krishna, and we will get all perfection. Because Krishna will fulfill our desires and also give us perfection. So we may have full material desires, we may think Maya is very, very strong, very captivating. We still worship Krishna. Krishna will fulfill desires and give us the perfection, bring us back home, back to Godhead. Thank you so much.
Share this verse and then we'll jot it down. Maybe you could share this.
The verse Akama Sarva Kama.
Yeah.
Akama Sarva.
Yeah.
Okay, I will share it. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare